Hey, hi everyone. This is Sai from Let's Upgrade. So let's talk about how to get your certificate. It's very simple. You will see two links in the description. Number one is the place where you have to go and mark your attendance. Marking your attendance tells us like, okay, you are a legit student who have attended this particular session. Link number two is your assignment. This is where your 90% of the priority is. You have to go and submit the assignment that is given to you in this particular session. Once you're done submitting that assignment, we will be evaluating that. We will send you an email. If you get the passing criteria, then only we will give you the certificate on a particular date that is mentioned again in the description. Please check these three things, and this is the way how you will get a certificate from Let's Upgrade. Number one, mark your attendance. Number two, just go ahead and upload your assignment. Check for the email that you have received it, yes or no. What is the feedback that you have received from your trainer? Number three, check on which date the certificates will be released. Thank you. Bye. All the best. Happy learning.
Hello, everyone. Now, let's continue with the next part, which is going to be a bit of advanced concepts we have in GitHub. So, before that, let's quickly recall what we have done till now. So, we have talked about basic Git commands, setup. Okay, all that is done. Now, we are going to see today how we can clone a repo, what is fork, what is git pull, how to create different branches. Okay, also I'll continue and recall, like I explained how branches work, multiple people are working on a project like that. Okay, so based on that, I'll also explain here how branches are can be created, new branches can be created, how real time in real time collab people are able to collaborate, developers are able to collaborate and work remotely. Okay, so let's start with one example. Okay, so this one example I've taken earlier also. A similar I'll take now. So let's say I have multiple developers in a team. I have four developers working on a project. Okay, you can think of any project. So I'll take some e-commerce application. Okay, or I'll take some movie app. Okay, but in your mind you can think of any application. You can think of mobile application, software application, and web application. So I'll take an example where I'll say, let's say I have a web application. Okay, so I have a client. Let's say the client name is, I have a client and the client name is Alex. Okay, and for this client we are building a application. So developer 1 is there, 2 is there, 3 is there, and 4 is there. So let's say developer 4 is also a team lead. So team lead can also develop the project. So let's say team lead is the developer. Okay, so now what is happening? Let's say developer 1 is supposed to develop a movie page, okay, and movie detail page. So this person is supposed to develop movie and movie detail page. Now in your mind, you can think of Netflix, you can think of Hotstar, you can think of Prime videos. Okay, so these applications, wherever OTT platforms, basically where you can see movies and series, you can think of that application right now. So this developer 1 is supposed to develop this part. Then developer 2 is supposed to develop, let's say, about page. Okay, this is going to be contact page, and team lead is going to integrate everything. Okay, and also at the same time, let's say this person is working on authentication part. Okay, so this person is working on authentication, okay, and integration, because these all people are working individually. So all these people are working individually, but to a client we deliver one project. Okay, so basically, now what I'll do here, now they have to work individually on their part. Okay, so now you can think of someone is working from India, someone is working from Singapore, someone is working from USA. So they all are working from different places. Okay, but how they will be able to work? Because they all can collaborate. Okay, they all can collaborate and work on a project. Collaboration, and because of collaboration they will be able to build a complete project together. Okay, so now what is happening every, so if you remember, we have seen git commit messages, right? Commit messages. So if I click on this one of my repo, you can see what date, what I committed. See, on this I've committed 53 commits are there. So if I click on this, so you can see which date what I committed in this. So you can see, So you can keep a track of everything over here. Okay, and there's a commit ID over here. Okay, so who all are the user right now? I am the only user on this. Okay, but if let's say on this repo, if these developers are working, so all these four developer user ID will come. Okay, and generally in a real time IT industry, you get your own company GitHub accounts. Okay, so you don't have to use your personal account, you get your company GitHub account, and there will be a user ID, and that users will come here, like these people have contributed. So in future, if some, because of someone, if your code is getting messed up, or whatever every person is doing, everyone can track it. Okay, so this person worked on this, so this person have committed. Right now I am the only sole user of this, or contributor to this, so that's why only my username is coming. But you can imagine like this, all the four developers commit messages will come, and their user ID will come. Okay, user ID we have seen how to set and all. So now, so what is the main idea now? Why next thing that we go is we create different branches. Okay, now what is a branch? Branch is nothing but, just like in a real time you have a tree and there are a lot of branches on a tree, just like that this one tree is equivalent to one repo. So your one tree is equal to one repo. Okay, just like there can be multiple branches on a tree, multiple branches. Okay, so just like that you can create multiple branches on repo. Okay, we can do the same thing, but at the end of the day, what we have to deliver to the client, one complete repo is that what you're delivering to the client, one complete repository, one complete project, or you can call it as one complete repo is that we are delivering to a client, like one complete tree. Okay, no matter how many branches you create. And why we are creating these branches, so whichever person is contributing, so we don't want each and everyone to have access of main. So we have discussed that already, that main is your source, the main root branch, which is what we deliver to the client. So there can be multiple branches, from which main is that one main or master, that one branch where the complete code is going to be merged. Okay, so let's say developer one is working on one part. Okay, so I'll put it as D1, D2 and D3. Okay, and let's say D4 is what? Main. So team lead have access, generally the higher management have the access to it. Okay, so whatever this person is working on, they will work on it, whatever feature they are working on. So we will create a branch for this person, let's say movie. So let's say branch name is movie, for this person the branch name is about, and for this person the branch name is contact. And at the end of the day they will work on it. Okay, then they will create one new PR, pull request. They are going to do PR. Okay, I'll show you, I will demonstrate. And then that notification will go to the person having the access to main branch, their mail ID. Okay, and then this person will merge whatever developer one have done in movie one, that will be merged with main branch. So then same, the person who is the developer 2 is working on about page, this will be merged with main. And then whatever contact developer working on contact page, that will be merged into main. During merge there can be a conflict, like page name is same, file name is same. Okay, some piece of code, naming convention issues can come. So that comes under conflict, and that can be rectified. Okay, so manually that we have to rectify. So what conflicts are there, that automatically we get here. Okay, when we create this request. So at the end of the day, everyone is working individually on different pages or different part of your application, but to the client I have to deliver one. So the main is going to be that one that we are going to deliver to the client, the main branch. Okay, and generally let's say team lead or developer 4 have access to this main branch. Okay, and this person will merge all these sub branches into the main. Okay, so this is the main idea of branch, why we are creating the branches. Okay, so that everyone can contribute and we can see on which branch which person is putting the code. Now there is one thing that you have to remember. Now let's say this person is working developer 1. Developer 1, whatever they have worked on movie, that is pushed to main. So now they also want, so what is happening, this person is pushing the code. Okay, so what we want, so let's say merging will happen. Let me just put a word here called merge. Here merging will happen. But there is one thing we need to remember, that whatever developer 1 is working on, developer 2 is working on, developer 3 is working on. So we always consider main is the latest code, because whatever they have, let's say developer 2 have completed the work for. So developer 2 will create a PR. Okay, and their code will be, PR is like pull request. So request will be made, and that will go and merge with the main. Okay, so everyone have to pull the code. That is important. Okay, why there is a need of pulling the code? The reason is, let's say, today there is a person, let's say today developer to have created the pull, and the team lead have merged it to main. Now when d1 and d3 is working, now they want to get the latest code. So whenever you create the branches, the latest code from where it that in the branch comes is going to be the main branch. So main branch is that source that every time you create a new branch, basically it's going to be a copy of your main branch. So let's say I'm creating a movie branch, it will be nothing but a copy of the main branch. Okay, later on you're putting anything in movie, so you have to go and merge it with the main, because main is always going to be the latest. Okay, so that clarity is important. So now let's do one thing, let's see all this thing how to do it. So before this, I'll just quickly tell you the commands. So whenever you are working on branches, so these are the commands you should know. So first is going to be git branch hyphen m and a branch name. Okay, so let's say git branch hyphen m, I'll say a movie, I'll say about, and then I'll say contact. Okay, then if you want to switch between branches, okay, so I'll say git branch git checkout, git checkout, and the branch name. Okay, the branch name will come. Then third point in this is that once you have done this git branch checkout, okay, so now you want to you can literally switch between the branches. Okay, so I'll call it as switching between branches. Okay, this is creating a new branch. Okay, also there is one thing which is important to understand here is that when you are creating a new branch, it from where, like, what will come under that branch, like what will be the files folder. It is nothing but a copy of main. So when I'll create this branch, let's say I have a main branch. Okay, initially main is going to be there. Then if I'm creating a about branch is nothing but a copy of all the files and folders will come from here. Will come from here. Okay, so now let's do it. Okay, so what I'll do, let's do one thing. Let's recall everything we have done. So I'll start from creating a new branch. So same Netflix folder we'll use today. Okay, but we'll just create the repository again. So I'll click on new. Uh, Okay, so here I'll give a repository name, let's say sample. Okay, so I've just given a random name. Don't add anything from here, we can keep it public. I'll click on create repository, and here we know we'll go here, we'll do git bash here. Okay, and we have to run these commands. Okay, so it will be a recall for you all. So we do git init first, initializing. Okay, then we will do git add dot, I want to add all the files. Okay, let's just wait for this to be processed. Git dot add, then I'm going to say git commit hyphen m first commit. Okay, this is the first commit I'm doing. Okay, every time you're pushing there is one commit message. Okay, then this is how you create a new branch. So right now by default master comes, I'll change it to main. Git branch hyphen m. Okay, generally we consider main to be the source one, but master if you want to keep, you can keep, there is no problem in that. And then you have to give the name, let's say I'll say main. So main branch will be created, okay, initially instead of master. And then you can see here the main. So whatever you're doing, how will you know which branch you're working with? Main. Okay, then I'll say I have to connect my local folder with the GitHub repo. So I'm going to copy this, and then this is first time you have to do git push hyphen u origin main. Means in main I am pushing the code. So here it's taking some time. Okay, now you guys can see it is pushed. Now I'm going to refresh. So now you can see this is the readme file which is coming perfectly fine. Readme file we discussed before this. And then we have all the folders, everything is coming here. Okay, now this is working absolutely fine, and you can see by default there is one branch and one commit message. And who have committed, I have only, I'm the sole contributor right now, so that is coming. Okay, now Next, what we are going to do in this is we are going to create a different branch now. Okay, now I'm going to create a different branch. So now I'll say git branch hyphen m, okay, and I'll call it as movie, okay, or let's say I'll call it as a contact. Okay, so let's say I am creating a new branch called contact, just like I showed you here, contact. Okay, so I'm creating a new branch called contact. And even here you guys will realize, here also you will see whichever branch I will be in. So let's say right now, you can now just see here, right now I'm in contact branch. Okay, so right now, there now in my folder there are two branches, one is main and one is contact. Okay, so now in this, what is happening, two branches are created. Let me change the color. Okay, now two branches has been created. One branch is going to be the main, okay, and one branch is going to be the contact. And what I'm going to do is, and from here you can see right now you're in which branch, here it is. Okay, now if you want to switch between branches, you can do it like this: git checkout main. So it will be switching the branch. So I'm going from contact to main. So now you can see, so whatever you see here, that is the current branch you are in. Right now I'm in I was in contact, now I am in main. Okay, now again I'll switch back to git checkout contact. So now again I am back to contact branch. So here you can see, so now you can see contact branch is coming. Okay, so this is also working fine. So now what we are going to do, we are going to now right now I'm in a right now I'm in contact. So right now in main we had three files: index.html, okay, css folder, and then we had one .readme file. Okay, same we have here. So now I told you, when a new branch is created, what files you see. Right now I'm in contact branch and I can see the same files here. So these files are not of main, these three files are of contact. So a copy of these are getting created, and I'll just after this I'll show you how you can actually switch and see that. You can also feel that. Okay, right now whenever a new branch is created, by default it will come from the main, whatever is the latest code in main. Okay, now here I'll do something, I'll create a new file. I'll just create a copy of this index here. Okay, and here I'm going to name it as contact. Okay, so now you can see there are four files. So what I'm saying here, I have created a new file here in my folder called contact. So where this file will go, this file, right now I am in contact branch, so this file will go in contact. In main it will not come. How can I show you that? Let me just so whatever, let's say in contact branch, I am in contact branch. So now you can imagine, now I am a, so now you can think like this developer, I am developer one. Okay, so now developer one have, this is a branch that developer one have. Okay, or contact I have assigned to developer 3. So let's say developer 3. So right now, earlier when I was on main, I was team lead. Now I'm the same person, I'm the different person, I'm the developer 3 now. Okay, and I am on this branch. So I have created my file, what, like I told you now, whatever they are working on, they will work on it. So they will create a they will get a copy, okay, of the branch from main to contact. Okay, so now a copy of this new branch is created, which is contact, which is coming from me. Okay, and now I'm adding my code, whatever I wanted, let's say in movie or contact, I am doing it. Okay, now let's do one thing, let's push the code. So what I'll do, I'll push the code on in contact branch. So in GitHub I'm pushing the code in contact. So I'll say git dot add git commit added contact .html. Okay, you don't have to specify branch or something here in commit messages. It's pretty I'll show you in GitHub. You see now, there is only one branch right now. So now once I'll push, you will see two branch will come. Okay, so I'll say git push. Okay, so I have to put git push hyphen u origin contact. So here you can see it has happened. Okay, now it has happened. Now what I'll do, I'll go here and I'll refresh my page. Just see here, can you all see two branches will be created? See, two branches are coming. And if I switch here, just see here, right now I'm in main branch, index.html, readme and css is coming. Now I will select contact and you will see in contact four files will come. See, index, contact, readme, and css. So same you can imagine when developer one, when the basic main branch is there. Now when developer 3 is creating a new branch, okay, so this is how the new branch from the main will be created, okay. And you can even see all these files being switched here, all these files being switched. Like if I switch from contact to main branch, you can see different set of files will come. So now you can see main has 3 files. So now developer 3 have contributed to main. So this contribution of contact branch will come from developer 3, the other person. Okay. So now this person have contributed, and now you can see compare and pull request. So automatically compare and pull request is coming. Means that someone have commit. Now it is saying compare and merge it with main. Okay. So now this is what they are trying to say. Okay. And also in local you can see that you see now the different files are coming based on branch. Even in local you can see right now I'm in contact. I'll switch back to main. Even in local you can see the difference. Okay, now you can see I am in main branch. See, now it has switched to main. Even in local you can see 3 files are coming. So you can even see in your local folder also that whichever branch you are in, that you are working. So from here you will know which branch you are working on. Okay, so now contact. Now similarly you can create about, so that about person will work in about branch. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's click on compare and pull request. So pull request is basically pulling the code from contact to main. Means now why automatically it is created, means you have made some changes in this contact branch. Now you have to merge it with the main. Okay, so we will do a pull request. So here you will create a new pull request. Here if you see that it is working fine, there is no conflict, then it will come. Okay, otherwise if you feel there is some conflict, you will put a message and you will create pull request. Okay, so now you can see the pull request has been created. Okay, now this person will compare and see what. So here you can see it is checking the conflict, like is there any conflict in merging contact. So right now whatever I'm showing you the pull request part, that main lead will be doing, the team lead will be doing. Okay, the person having the main branch access. Right now I am the one who is contributing to the contact, and I'm the same person contributing to the main. Okay, it's because it's my personal GitHub repository. But you can just imagine whatever we did till here, like we were getting this message over here, right? Compare and pull. So that is what team lead will get the message. Then team will create the pull request. Okay, and this will be done, and then conflicts will be checked. Okay, so you can see now it is saying there is no conflict, there is no issue of file name or anything. So you can just merge. Okay, and just click on confirm merge. Okay, now if I go here, can you see even in main contact.html is coming? This is what I was saying. Now even in contact, latest code is coming. Latest. So this is what I was saying. So contact person will create a PR. Okay, then that main will get a notification that someone have raised this PR. Now conflicts and everything automatically will be checked. If there is a conflict, what if there is a conflict that will come, then you will simply send a message, like there was an input box coming. Now you write the message like description that this is the issue, and then you terminate the merge request. Then this person will fix the file names, and then the merging will happen. But normally if everything is going fine, this is how it will happen. See, so everything, the main is latest. Now now I told you, now main is always going to be the latest. Now about person need to create the branch. So what I'll do, I'll say git branch hyphen m. Okay, so let's say about, I'll create a new branch. Okay, about branch. Now you will see about will be the new branch coming from main. Now okay, so I'll say git. Okay, now we are in about, so you can see about will come. Okay, but in about you will see we are in about branch, but in about you will see there is no main, there is no contact. So I have merged, so you can see I have merged my contact branch. Okay, so from contact branch whatever we did, okay, we have merged it with main branch. Now this new branch I have created, it is coming from main. Okay, but there is one issue. The issue is contact is not coming in main in local. The reason is I have merged it. So on GitHub, contact branch code has been merged with main, but the local system doesn't know that. The local, we are not merging it from local, right? We are doing it from GitHub. So GitHub, for GitHub contact and to main it is merged, like the content has been merged. But in your local system, it doesn't know na that main has merged with contact, main and contact and main has been merged, because from local I just push the code. So now what I need to do is every time I have to do pull. Okay, so main is, that's why I told you main is the latest code. Even in your local, the main is not updated yet. Okay, because main is when PR request is created and someone have merged the code. Okay, so contact, whatever code was there in contact, it is merged with main. But there is one issue again here. The issue is the local system still doesn't know what is the latest code in main, because I have merged it from GitHub, right? So what I'll do here, I'll just say git pull. Okay, and okay, let's do one thing. So generally what we do is we get the latest code in get checkout main. So firstly we will pull the main. Okay, so firstly I'll try to pull the latest code. So whatever was the latest code in main, so the mapping is clear. So here main is the latest one. So firstly I'll try to pull the latest code in main. So right now I'm in main, I'll say git pull. So latest code was whatever was there in main, that will come. See, right now there were 3 files. Now you will see I'm did pull request. Now see contact.html has come. See contact. So I pulled the code. I am pulling the code from GitHub. Okay. So this is your local system and this is your GitHub. So when you are pushing the code from here to here, it's called push. When you're trying to get the code from GitHub to this is pull. And why am I doing a pull right now? Because online here from GitHub, I merged my contact, whatever code I had. Okay. Firstly, I had in main. Then I created the basically a new branch of contact, which the copy of main branch. Then I did some changes in contact, just like in real time, this developer will do, and push it to GitHub. So contact, now you will get a new PR request that something has been changed. Now we need to merge it with main. So this person will go, and if there is no conflict, that person will merge. So main will become latest, but about person working on movie, right? They need to get the latest code from main every time, so they have to do pull. So that's why I told you, I told you earlier that every day we alternate, or every day we do pull request, right? So that we get the latest codes, because main we keep the latest. Now just see here, in main also 4 files are coming now in main 4 files are coming. Okay, so now then after that this person will or this person will create the branch. Now about was already there, so we can do a pull request for about as well. Okay, but this is how the concept of branches and why everyone is able to collaborate will work. Only difference is right now I'm the only sole contributor to this, so I am showing you both the things. The only difference will be the main person will have access to the main. Okay, you will have access to pull the request. Pull request you will always have. So to pull the code from GitHub from the main, that you will have. But you guys will not have only one thing, which is access to pushing something to the main branch. That person will be having. Okay, that will be the only difference. So you will be assigned a contact branch, so you will push to contact branch. The about person having access to about, that person will have access to push the code to the about branch. So about branch, they will have the access. Contact, they will have the access. They will push it to their respective branches, and then pull request will be created. PR request, pull request will be created, and then that notification, or that or on the developer side or the team lead side, that will come and it will show pull request one, and then they will come and merge it. Okay, once they merge it, the main will have the latest code, so others have to pull it in the main. So git pull is the command to pull the latest code from the main, or any branch, or even not just in this. Let's say now what I've done, let's say I'll go to contact, and by mistake I have or by choice maybe I uploaded a file from here. Okay, so what I'll do, every time if I'm trying to put any file, so what is happening, my GitHub is one step ahead, okay, from my local. So I have to pull. So why we need to pull the code? Because my GitHub is one step ahead. This is the reason. See, so contact have four, no, so now you will do pull. Okay, firstly you will do merge, PR, pull request, then team lead will merge. Okay, team lead will merge, and then simply we will pull the latest code from it. Pull latest code from it, because every time it will be merged with me. Okay, and this is how this concept is going to work. Okay, so I hope this part is clear. If you had confusion, especially if you work in a real time, okay, what does this pull request mean? Okay, and what does this different branches are working together, people are working together. Okay, and then everything is merged to main. So that is what we deliver to the client simply. Okay, so this is how this concept works. Now let's do one thing. Now we understood that in contact, okay, or even in main. So in contact branch we made the changes. Okay, we did some code and then it is merged with main. Then we did git pull, so we got the latest code in main. Now if I want to get the latest code in about, okay, if I want to get the latest code of about, so I'll switch to about branch. Okay, and then you can see it is saying your branch is behind main by 2 commits and can be fast forward. Just do git pull. So I'll just run git pull. So in main about, now I will get the latest code. So just look here, we got the latest. So now in about it is fixed that by default from main everything will be pulled. Okay, so now you got the latest code here as well. Okay, so now we got the latest code in about. So now what will happen? Now about, now but about branch will not come here, right? So if you want to see this about branch, okay, which you have created, again you have to keep this clarity of local system and GitHub. Now about branch is present here in local. So if you want it to come in GitHub and reflect in GitHub, you have to do push. Okay, and whenever you want to get something from the GitHub, it's pull. These fixed. This is fixed. Okay, so now what is happening? I created the about branch. I pulled the code from main from here. Okay, so about is the latest one. But if you want to see it in GitHub, right, so you have to do again the same step. So for every branch you have to do git add, git commit, git push. That you have to do for every branch. Okay, so the only difference is right now I'm the one person is, I'm one person showing you all the from three perspective. Just think, about person will have their own laptop, we're doing it. Main will have their own laptop doing it, contact will have their own laptop doing it. Okay, that's the only difference. Let's say I'll just say added files. Let's say I'll just say added files. Okay, very simple. And I'll just say, okay, so we have not made any change. Okay, so let me just do one thing. Git push hyphen u origin. So main is my updated. Push hyphen u origin about. So now you can see here when I try to comment, it says on this branch main is up to date, right? Because there is no change has happened in main. Locally, I have not made any change. Okay, but now I'll just, so whenever you're whichever branch you're pushing to, just make sure you put origin about. Now just if I come and refresh it, now you can see 3 branches are coming. Okay, so if I come here now, if I click on about, you can see about will come. See, all the 3 branches is coming. Okay, so that is how it will work. Now, if I make any change to about, then I need to create a PR, because I automatically compare and PR request I need to raise. Then team lead will come and see if someone have done the pull request, and then they will check that if there is no conflict, it will merge it with the main, and everyone will pull the code in from main to the latest. And similarly, you can work developer one way is going to work. Okay, and every time you want the latest code, just run git pull, and whichever branch you're in, from that the latest code will come. Okay, so I hope this part is clear, how branches work, how to switch between branch, how to create a new branch, and how this complete process of pull request is working, okay, and merging is working. Okay, now let's see. Let me close this. Now we are going to see something new. Okay, so I'll create a new folder over here. Okay, how, what is a clone and what is fork? So I'll just create a folder called sample. Okay, so here I'll take reference of this only. Okay, the same repository. So clone and fork means, okay, let me just write here. So this is important. What is fork and what is clone? Okay, so you guys now want the latest code. Okay, or you whatever GitHub, let's you guys will get whatever I'm teaching you here. You will get all the PPTs, all the notes, right, from the description. You will get the link. So how will you get this code? So yeah, so I told you earlier, just download for now. Okay, but download is not the correct way. What we should do? Okay, so download is something you should do that once you want it. Okay, then you don't want it in future. Let's say I just want it once in my once I want it. Let's say this code right now you want. You just do the download. Okay, that is fine. But what is the correct way? Let's say, uh, you know, if you, let's say you download it, okay, it is fine, but let's say tomorrow I work on it, on this project, I push something on this code again, and again you want the latest code, right? Then you're not going to download it every day. So for example, let's say I'm into trainings, right? So let's say today I push some code to my same repo of the sessions, then tomorrow I push the same code of sessions, okay, and third day and so on. For 1 month I'm pushing the code to the same repository. So every time my students are not going to download, right? So what they will do, they will rather clone it, okay. So we will talk about cloning and fork. What is clone? Clone is nothing but copy of a GitHub repo, and you can clone any GitHub repo which is public. Clone of a GitHub repo, okay, and even private you can do, but you need to be a collaborator. So copy of a GitHub repository in your system. Okay, so what does it mean? Okay, it means that you will get a copy of this repository. So one option is you keep on downloading. So let's say today I push this code, you will download. Tomorrow I'm pushing the code to the same repo, you will download. Third day I'm pushing code to the same repo, you will download, right? It will be so difficult to manage. So what I'll do, rather downloading, I'll do pull. Okay, I'll clone it. Firstly, we need to clone it. Then whatever changes you are doing every day, what we will do, we will just say git pull. So push you cannot do, because for push you need permissions. Okay, for example, this is my GitHub repo, it's public, but if I want anyone to come and push code to this repo, I have to put them as a collaborator. So if I go to settings, and if I go to collaborators, okay, so here I have to add the collaborators. So here, so here you can add collaborators. Okay, so let's say what my ID is user 20 Urvashi 29. So based on that, you will add the collaborators. Okay, so then they will have access to push to this repository. Okay, so pull is everyone can do. Okay, cloning and getting the latest code from this repository, if it's public, everyone can do. But if you want someone to come and collaborate and push some code to this repository, then you need to give access to them. Otherwise, I will see, it's a very simple. It's like you create an Instagram profile. On Instagram you can collaborate with someone, influencers collaborate, and then two people, username comes Instagram on a reel, two people or three people or four people, Instagram IDs or username will come, so that this person have collaborated. So for all the four people followers, all the four people followers, that post will be visible. Okay, and all the four people have contributed to that reel basically. Okay, but if but for that you have to do a permission, you have to give allowance, right? And if that person, anyone doesn't have a option or if they're not allowed, obviously they won't be able to collaborate, just like here. Okay, just the same way here. So what I'll do, so why we are cloning, the reason is every day, let's say I'm into training, right? Every day I push the code, or let's say lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3 to the same GitHub repo. Then it is very difficult for the student to download it every day. It's not easy, right? So what they will do, they will clone it. Clone means creating a copy of it. So what I'll do, I'll just click on this link, just copy this link, and just come here in your system, and here git bash, right here git init, git add, git init, and we don't have to add, we have to just clone. Okay, git init clone. I think init has not run. Okay, my bad. Git init. So it will just initialize the GitHub folder, and then you have to write git clone, and I'll just paste this link. Okay, now you will see whatever you see here, all these folder, it will see sample 11. All this have come here. Everything have come here. So now you got the code from this. Okay, so you can clone any git. So you guys can also clone my repo. So this is open to open source. You can clone anyone's GitHub repository. Okay, now what is the use of it? So now this has done. Now let's say I have made some changes. So let's just suppose a situation, someone will come and make changes to this GitHub repository. So what you will do every day, so you will just do git pull. So today, let's say I trained my students, and I push some code to this repo. So every day my student will do git pull. So tomorrow someone will push the code to it, I will just do git pull. So just clone it once, and you can just do git pull, git pull, git pull, and you will get the latest code every time. Okay, so right now there is nothing to pull, right? There is no nothing that has been changed, so it's not going to happen. But you will get the latest code. Okay, and you can just do git branch. Okay, so to check branches in your repositories. So here you can run this git branch hyphen hyphen a or hyphen hyphen all. It will give you the list of branches. So right now there is, I think, only master. That's why only master is coming. Okay. So, but one thing, you cannot contribute to this because you can go to anyone's profile and go to their GitHub and you can clone and get the code. And if they push, you can do git pull. You will get the latest code, but you can't push because you need to be a collaborator on that. Okay. And this is some similar to thing you are doing here. Okay. So every time, so here in a real time project, you are a collaborator, you have access, so that's why you're able to push. But in this case, you're not able to push the code. The reason is you're not the collaborator. You can just clone anyone's GitHub repo and pull it. Okay, so that's called cloning. Okay, so you're just creating a copy and you do git pull and you get the latest code. Okay, now next is fork. Fork is when you are some you want to create a copy of someone's repo in your GitHub profile. Okay, so cloning is git clone and you get the code in your local system. Okay, in your local system you will get the code, but I am talking about fork. Fork is creating a GitHub repo copy in your GitHub, in your own GitHub. That is the difference. Okay, so git clone will just clone the folders files in your local system and you can just do git pull and get the latest code whatever they're pushing. Okay, now fork, what does fork means? So if I click on fork here, okay, okay, let's do one thing. Let's fork someone else profile. Okay, because then in my profile you won't be able to see too much of changes. So let's say I'll go to this person's profile, GitHub profile. Okay, and I'll fork this one. Okay, so this is a person who are putting content on Express. Okay, yeah, this person have added a lot of code on this Express over here. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just click on fork. Okay, I'll just click on fork. So this is the base max is someone else's profile and this is someone else's repo. So I'll just click on fork. So fork, what it will do, it will create that person GitHub repository copy. See, so it will create the copy of their repository in mine. Okay, so here I'll just uh, let's keep the same name. Okay, so I'll just click on see which branch you want to copy. I'll just okay, I've already forked this earlier, I won't be able to show you this. Okay, let's see some other repository. So I have the same I've demonstrated and forked it. Let's see some other repository. So let's say this GitHub repository of this person I'm going to fork. Okay, so you can pick any person. Okay, so I'll just click on fork. Okay, so this GitHub repo now comes in my repository. So so I'm copying the main branch and I'll click on fork and you will see this person GitHub repository will come in mine. See, so my profile, but this person GitHub repository is showing. Okay, if I go to repositories now, you can see I have fork this. If I go to repositories, so here you guys can see. So this is, so it is showing. So it is showing that someone else GitHub repository you have forked. Means you can see like for whose person GitHub repo was, and now it's like the copy of their GitHub repository is there in mine. But this belongs to my repository only. But it will come from whose, because otherwise anyone can come and copy your code and all. So but you, if you fork, like, you get the access in your GitHub repo. Now next step is I can clone it, get it in my laptop, and I can push the code to it. Now I can do it because now it's a part of my GitHub repo. Okay, and the changes whatever you are going to do, it is going to reflect only in your GitHub repository. It is not going to reflect in someone else's GitHub repository. Okay, so let's say this, now what is happening? So in fork you are creating a copy. So copy of repo is in your, now you can clone and push the code if you want. Now you, like, if you want to get, so clone we have seen, so you fork it, you get someone else's GitHub repo now in as a copy in your GitHub repository, but they both are different now. Okay, so this is something, but it will show, like, from whom repository you have created, forked. So now it is coming. Now you can clone it, you can get the latest code in your laptop. Okay, you can push the code to their repository, or you can push the code to your own repository. Okay, like here you can make the changes, but that will not reflect in this person if you want that to reflect, but then you have to be a contributor. ठीक है, आपको you have to be a contributor, otherwise you won't be the changes will not reflect in their repository. So this is the only difference, is you got the copy. Now you get this code in your system, you can push the code if you want. Okay, so that is the difference in clone and fork. So now this is what we have. So let's quickly recall, okay, all the commands we have seen, okay, so that you will have more clarity. So I'll just quickly note down all the commands we have seen. Firstly, okay. So for while we were talking about this, okay, so I'll just create a quick diagram, okay, like a flow chart, so that you have clarity. So what is happening? First of all, we have git. Okay, so firstly you have to do the setup. Okay, so I'll start from very scratch. Okay, so firstly we do the git setup. Okay, and GitHub, git, and let's do one thing. One second. I'll just write it on the right side, okay, so that when you revise, you can see this. Okay, and I'll tell you guys one more thing after this. Okay, so I'll just go here, git, GitHub setup. So before I go ahead, let's just quickly recall what we have seen. Then we'll go to the next part. So we have done git and GitHub setup first. Okay, then we have to config email and username. Next step, we have to know the basic commands. Okay, basic commands and the terms associated with it. So we should know what is repository, repositories. Okay, basic, we did add, git commit, right? All those I have noted in the previous document, so you can see there. So repository, push, pull, clone, fork. Okay, or let's see basic first. Okay, pull, then after this, remote add. Okay, what is happening in local system, what is happening in GitHub. Okay, so that clarity has to be there. Okay, and whenever we try to push something from local system could be anything, your laptop, your desktop system, to GitHub. Okay, then it's called push always. And when I'm trying to do local system and GitHub, okay, then we are trying to pull something from here, so I'll say pull. Okay, we will try to pull something from here. Then next we have, what is a cloning is basically creating a GitHub repo, creating a copy in local system. Okay, and we cannot contribute to it till the time someone add us as a contributor, but we can pull and get the latest code. Okay, so that every day you don't have to download it. And what is for, you are literally getting creating a copy of someone else's repo in your GitHub. Okay, and of course you can clone. Okay, and then you can push the commands and all that, but because it's a part of your GitHub repo, but it will come like from whose profile it is coming. Okay, it's going to come. Okay, then after that comes the collaborator, or I'll call it as branch first. Because of these different branches, people are able to work, and collaboration. Okay, in interviews, these type of things are asked. You sit in any company into any technical interview, right? So collaboration, GitHub, this is very common, which will be asked. Okay, so here you should know about creating the branches, how to create branch. Okay, how to switch branches. Okay, how to how to manage, pull, push those between those branches. Okay, PR, pull request. Okay, merging, which is then you're checking the conflict. Okay, this is the basic overview. Now, one thing I would just want to recall here. Okay, so I'm just writing whatever the steps we have seen over here. Okay, so let's say here, firstly, what is happening? Developer 1 or developer 3. Okay, so firstly, team lead will create a GitHub. So what are the steps? Team lead will create a repo. Okay, and main branch. In that main branch, then developer 3, okay, who is working on contact, okay, will do clone. This person will clone that. I told you, na. So right now I had it in my laptop only, but how this developer 3 will get the code initially, that person will clone it. He will clone the repo. Okay, and automatically, if you go to settings, that person is already a collaborator. So if you go to settings, automatically that person is a collaborator. So there is no problem in terms of access and all, pushing the code. Okay, so this process starts from cloning only at the end of the day. Okay, so you have to clone the GitHub repo. That is how you will get the latest code in your system, right? Then after that you will create your own branch. Okay, called contact. So that part is like exactly same. Okay, then you will make changes to the code, make changes, and push code to contact. Okay, now once you push code to this contact, what will happen? You have to create, you have to developer have to create, developer 3 have to create new pr means pull request. Okay, automatically it will be created. Okay, then after that team lead will, you have to create it manually, then team lead will review it. Okay, review the pr, team lead will review pr and merge it with main. Okay, always it with main. Okay. What is the reason? So they will check that if there is a conflict. Okay, if there is a conflict, then if you guys observe, there was one add description box, right? So you have to put that, and the other person will get the mail that this there is a issue with this. Okay, or they will get a notification there. Okay, and you can also see, like, open pull request. So if it is open, everyone can see, in the team can see. Then after that, they have to, all the team members every day, that's why I told you, team members, okay, have to pull the latest code from it, have to pull the latest code from main. Every day they have to do it. Okay, they have to do it. So main is always going to be your that latest place where all the latest code is there. Okay. Now let's do one thing. So whatever we have forked, okay. Now let's see how to get it in our system. Let me just show you the starting part here. Like I was mentioning here, na clone. You have to clone every time. Okay. So let's do it. So I'll just say git. I'll create a new folder here. Okay. I'll just call it as test for now. Okay. And here I'll just say git init, and I'm going to change the branch. So I'm going to change branch git branch hyphen m main, and I'm going to copy this link from here, and here I'm going to say git clone. So if you want, if you want to get some everything in main, so generally every the source code is always going to be in main, so it's better you switch it here first. Okay, and I'm going to click on this link and it will clone. So first, this is how you will get this code in your system first. Okay, so now you can see here I've got all the code. Okay, all the code has come now. Now we will go inside this folder and I'll just run here git bash. I'll say git status. Okay, so you will see the main branch is working fine, it's clean. Okay, now I'll do one thing, I'll make some changes to it. I'll just delete some file. I'll delete upload from here. Okay, so I've deleted something. Now I can say git status. See, so I have deleted it. So what I'll do now, I'll say git add. Now you can see here also in my the one I forked main branch upload is coming. Okay, but now I have deleted, so I'll just say git add dot, so all files, like basically the latest code is kind of added of files and folders. So deleted is not going to be there, so I'll just say git commit m, then I'll say deleted whatever you have deleted uploads folder. Okay, and then I'm going to say git push hyphen u origin. Okay, now latest code will go and push to main, and there you go, it has pushed. Now I'm going to refresh here. Now you will see this GitHub repository which was there in my system. You can see the GitHub repository which was there in my system. See, so I forked someone else's GitHub repository, then I cloned it. I got its copy in my GitHub repository. So it becomes one of the GitHub repository in my system. Then I have forked it, cloned it. I have got all the code over here. Okay, then I pushed everything. See, I have deleted this folder, and you can, if you click on this, you can see it is coming here. So whatever I have committed here, it will come in my system. Okay, so now you can see. So see this in real time, this is how it works. If multiple people are working, though although I have forked and then contributed it, so but then and the changes will not reflect in that person's system. Okay, in that person's system the changes will not reflect because it is my GitHub repository where I made the changes. Okay, if I go to this person GitHub repository, you will see upload folder is still coming. It will, of course, I mean, no one will allow you to delete their code, right? So in that person's system it is still coming, but in my system you can see my GitHub repository, that folder is not coming. Okay, so this is how you can like fork and try just make it your and come under your repository and contribute in terms of try it out. Okay, so that also you can do. This is how the complete process of fork is going to work. Now after this there are few commands, okay, which you can read. Okay, also there is one git log command. Okay, so git log will tell you, okay, what is the use of git log. Git log will tell you actually on this GitHub repository how many comments have been made by you, okay, and that person in the latest one. Okay, so you can see if you keep on entering you will get that. See this much amount of commit has happened, so you keep on adding. So you just run one command called git log. Okay, it will give you a log of complete commit history. It will give you log history, log commit history completely, whoever have contributed. So one way is you're going and checking it here, but you will get it here also. Okay, in complete commit history you will get all the commit over here, you can see. Okay, so there is on this there's so many commits that has happened, so I have to like enter. So now we have reached the end, now it is done. Okay, so you can see on which date, on what year, and what time, whatever that person has contributed, you will see, and which person. So you will get all the log history here. Okay, then if you want to revert something, let's say you have added one commit message, but I want to change it, so you can run something called git revert. Just git revert and your commit message. Okay, so let's say you have entered like you have added a commit message, right? Commit messages are extremely important, okay, because they have to be meaningful. So exactly what you're doing now, honestly, whatever exactly you're doing, just put it in your commit message. Okay, so commit messages are extremely important, because that will actually tell you in a long run what you made changes. And if you want to commit back to the previous version, let's say today I pushed some code to my GitHub, tomorrow I pushed my code to GitHub, now I want to let's say undo it, I want to go from let's say I want to go to reset or revert it to, and let's say 2022 I have pushed some code, okay, and 2024, and now I want to go back to 2022 version of my code. Okay, so I want to revert. So based on commit messages only, you will be able to revert it. Okay, so that's why commit messages are extremely important. So you can reset it. Okay, you can and you can revert it as well. Reset means change it, and revert is going back to the previous version. So you can do both for code and the commit messages. So git revert, git reset. These are the commands. Okay, and also if you guys want to merge this, so I showed you the developer will create a new PR pull request, and then the merging will happen. So you can merge from local also. If you want to merge through commands also, then we have, nowadays we use it quite less, but yeah. So git merge is the command. Okay, which repo you want to merge, which branch, not a repository, branch you want to merge with, what branch, you can mention it here. So we have this git branch command as well. So how can we do it? So let's take an example here. Okay. So let's say today we had contact. So one thing is you're doing it online. That's not a problem. So if you do it online, like online means from GitHub. So you will create a pull request, then merging will happen. So that is what will happen here. That's why we had to pull the code, latest code of pull main code, main branch pull. Why did we pull the code, latest code from the main branch? Because we did the pull request here and my local system didn't know the latest main. But if you want to do it from local, you can do that. So you can do something called git. Okay, so let's say you are in contact branch. Okay, so you have two branches, one is main and one is contact. Okay, so same thing you can do from local also. So if I have two branches, so what I'll simply do, I'll just say git. So right now I am in a main branch. Okay, git checkout, you will run this and you will say main, you are in main branch. And then what I'll do, I'll just say git merge contact. That's it. So what will happen? Merge will be, contact will be merged with main. So you're in main. So the main is where so you have to be in the main branch, and then you can merge contact with the main. So right now I'm in main branch. Okay, so you can just merge it with contact. Okay, or any other branch. So if you want to do it with commands, this is how you can do. Just like I did it on from GitHub, but then I have to do the pull request, because here if you do it, then you have to do push, because local system you're doing it, right? You're doing all of it in local system. So local system you're trying to merge, then you have to run git push. So you have to push these whatever you are doing. You have to push the latest code of main to latest code of main to GitHub. Okay, this is what you will do if you are doing the merging from local system, like I demonstrated the merging from the GitHub. So then that case you have to do the pull request. Okay, you have to get the latest code from GitHub to your local system. Okay, in that case you will pull, and that is what we did the pull. Okay, and earlier I also showed you guys something called GitHub pages. So let's quickly recall what are those. Okay, so GitHub pages is basically a way to deploy your application. Okay, so if I talk about it with the perspective of web development, okay, so GitHub pages, okay, which we call it as GH pages as well, GitHub pages. Okay, so we can deploy it or deploy our web application, let's, or any application, for example, web application. Okay, so here you go to settings, you go to pages, okay, and then you can do. But there are few rules you need to follow. I'm telling you, like your source file should be index.html. Okay, and all the images should be properly linked. Okay, and they should be in public folder, like say you're working with React, so it should be in public folder. Otherwise there should be a proper images folder that you should follow. Okay, and then all the images should be linked properly. All the files, for example, you have a CSS folder, so that should be linked properly. Okay, like you the relative linking, like dot slash the file path slash the file path, like that. Okay, so that is where you can use it. Of course, apart from GitHub pages, you have Vercel, you have Netlify, you have Render. Okay, you have AWS. You can deploy it on Microsoft Azure as well, web applications. Okay, so we have so many options to deploy our application. So this is one of the ways that we can deploy. Okay, so if you're working with only HTML, CSS, JS, for example, or basic tech stacks, then you can use this. Otherwise, if you want to deploy a heavy application like React and Angular or Vue, then ideally you should go with Vercel, Render, and Netlify. In my experience, Vercel works the best. Okay, like deployment, like let's say today you deploy something, the changes reflect quickly in Vercel as compared to Netlify. Okay, so yeah, that also we can use GitHub pages. Now, whatever I've taught you, I've added it in the PPTs. Even in the previous PPT, I've added everything. Okay. Now, let's move to the assignment, the last part. And as you guys know, you have to submit your attendance and the assignment in order to get the certificates. Okay. So, this is very simple assignment. This will check all your workflow solo, like the assignment that I've prepared, it's basically solo. No other GitHub repository, anything is not involved, like another person is not involved. Okay, so firstly what you need to do is you have to create a repository. Okay, you have to do all the pull, all the push. Okay, like you will create a simple repository, take any application or any tech stack, or simple files will also work, and then you have to push it to your GitHub. Okay, so first you have to create a GitHub account and push everything to it. Okay, second thing what you need to do is you have to fork your own repository. Okay, so you have to create your own repository fork you have to do. Okay, then after that, once you fork it, it will you download, basically you will clone it. Okay, and then you will make changes to it. So basically what is happening, you are forking your own repository, then you're cloning it in your system, then you are going to make changes to it, and like adding the files or change some content, then you will save the changes and push it to the GitHub. Okay, and after that, while pushing it, you have to create new branches. Okay, so here let's say here you have created a clone, okay, of the main branch. So you have main branch in your local. Now when you're making changes locally in your system, you have to create a new branch, and in that make the changes and then push the code. Okay, and so basically you created a GitHub repository with main, you cloned it, you forked it your own repository, then you cloned it, then you will get the main branch, and then you will create a new branch from local, make some changes to that, and then push. So you will have basically two branches in your GitHub now. One is main and one is going to be the new which you will create. Okay, and then you will, whatever changes you have been made, that will be pushed to the forked one. So what's basically what you need to do, whatever changes you are going to make to the forked repository should reflect in the original one as well. Okay, because it is your own repository, so you can do that. Okay, so and what you need to submit, you have to submit your forked repository that you have created, in which we can see the original changes are also in the original repository, it is also reflecting, and also the forked one. We should be able to see all the commit history, we should be able to see all the PR if you have created. And because you will be creating multiple branches, so that pull request should also be visible. Okay, so that is what you need to do in this assignment. This is very simple assignment. Okay, just remember, whenever you're locally making any changes, make sure you create a new branch. Okay, and then when you submit, you have to submit the forked repository, the one you have. And I know it's your own repository you're going to fork, but your own repository forked link you need to submit, and of course your username and everything, so that we can see all the commit histories reflecting, and we can see all the changes, whatever changes have been made over the days, we can see all of it. Okay, so initially also what you repository created, you made the changes, and then the forked one what you are doing, so both we want to see. Okay, so yeah, so all your concepts we have learned will be practiced through this. Okay, I hope it was useful, and you guys learned a lot in terms of Git and GitHub here, and it was lovely training you all. Just all the best for your assignment, and all the best for submitting this, and get your certificates. Thank you guys, bye.